So trumpet in 5th grade, and then I got sick of that around 8th grade. My mom didn't let me quit though, and she let me switch instruments, and then I chose the bass because I didn't have to blow. That's what I didn't want to do. I was tired of blowing into a difficult metal instrument. And then somewhere, I guess along the lines, I think around high school, the bug kind of caught me, and I started falling in love with it and, what music was.
Yeah, obviously you have passion and you have love for this music, and it's keeping you going, and I think it's a beautiful thing, right? And, it's not always easy, right? It's not always easy to be a musician, as we call successful musician, or, I was just wondering, what are some of the challenges and struggles that you're facing as an active pro musician?
I mean, there's several aspects to it, right? Because we can talk about the very obvious ones, your financial stability and things like that, and how are you going to continue developing, in your, your personal kind of, your personal growth, and and then there's those internal struggles of, why are you doing music, right? Why are we chasing it professionally? And I think a lot of struggles sometimes happens in how do we define what kind of musician we're gonna be, and how do we make it work, and how can we dedicate time to it? I would say every profession has its struggles for sure, right? But again, being a musician is more than just, I got a job. It has to come from within, it comes from a very deep place, I would say.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of struggle in terms of how do you maintain that energy. Which, so I wouldn't say it's for everybody, not really, unless you really want to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And in those struggles and challenges, right, have you ever felt somewhat defeated? You felt like you were kind of losing, and from there,
only all the time.
Yeah, and from there, what were some of the things that you sort of had to kind of push through?
Absolutely. I mean, even moments where you've had a bad show, or you feel like you're not going to reach a certain level that you thought you could attain or thought you were even at, right? And then you get in certain scenarios and like, whoa, wow, there's so much more that I'm missing, and it's really easy sometimes to get overwhelmed by that. It's almost part of the growth, right? Great music comes from struggle and pain, right? If I'm super happy all the time, my music's probably gonna suck, right? It's such unfortunate. It's almost like catch-22, right? Obviously we try to work on having the moments be as best as they can be all the time, but we have to, not to, surrender to the fact that we know that's not gonna be the case, right? So we, I find my personal journey is how do I, regardless of how many of those negative days or moments are gonna happen, at least my goal lately has just been, how do I learn to be okay with that? How do I learn to accept that and not let that pierce a more internal layer of myself, right? It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be, feel down. I don't feel like, we can't avoid that, right? You have to have faith that you play well.
Yeah.
You have faith that, off days are gonna happen, we try to minimize them, but I think it's just with any kind of negative thought, you just don't let it seep in, you don't let it creep in, you experience it, you live through it, you go, I did have an off day. I didn't do my best, maybe because I haven't practiced in a couple weeks, and I've been sloppy. And you go, okay, and then try to move forward and either correct that. So I think a lot of what's helped me lately in terms of just being okay with is just kind of, being like, no matter wherever the chips fall, as long as I'm pursuing music and doing it with, integrity, of course, but, intentionally and authentically, I guess is the word I'm really trying to use at, because music isn't a job. I think that's a very big thing, once you start viewing music as a job, then it can become dull even. It can become mundane because it becomes work.
Yeah.
And I think that's, an unfortunate byproduct of the society that we're kind of in, in terms of how we assign value to things, So I think a lot of the times we need to surrender to the fact that music doesn't exactly gel, I think, with what certain standards are in, a very kind of hyper-capitalistic society.
Yeah.
Because music is bigger than that.
I think there is this thing where, as artists, we want to be validated. We want to have that validation of, okay, we're creative, we're good,
yes,
right?
Exactly.
Genuinely, right?
Exactly.
And I think that sometimes to have a space or a time where we feel like we're not being validated, it's critical that we take a moment and we kind of sit back a little bit. I mean, that's what I'm hearing from you.
It's almost like a contradiction, right? Because I'm not saying I don't have these aspirations still, I don't have these goals and stuff. You know, if you close your mind off and you become very adamant about what your vision's gonna be, your vision might be great. But if you don't even allow the space for the other aspects to come in, you know, and then you have to ask yourself, are you looking to make the music better, or is this more of a self-validating thing? You know, I think, you know, music, you know, playing music is a whole spiritual thing which makes you kind of challenge your ego, challenge your, you know, your sense of space and identity even, right? Because there's so many things at play when we're playing music. It's not just play a note here, play a note there. We all want our stories to make sense. We all want to find, you know, because I think as a musician, you know, we want to impact people, right? You know, some of us want to change the world through music, right? You know, and some of us think music has that power, right?